Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Nguyen's Trig unit. In this unit, I'll be going over using the unit circle to identify the trig functions. In this website, I have many different tabs. We have the Home tab, Assessments, Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3, and a unit resource. And in the home page, you will find a brief summary of what this website is about. For Lesson 1, I will be providing a lecture. In Lesson 2, students will be given a web exercise where they will follow a website and answer the following question on the worksheet. In Lesson 3, students will be creating a graphic organizer based on a lesson covered in class. Specifically, they will be required to create a change of event organizers. So following along in this page, there's this tab I created for the students to return back to the class website, to my website. And here are some big ideas that I would like to incorporate in the lesson in class, where the students should be most focusedly on this topic. We will be applying the special right triangles. This will help determine the unit circle and finding its value as well as the trigonomic functions. Next to the big ideas, we have student learning objective is just emphasizing more of the big ideas. We will be understanding 30, 60, 90 and 45, 45, 90 angle triangles. Students will be able to use cosine, sine, and tan to find the value of the degree when it is given. And we will apply the special right triangle to find the unit circle. And going down to the page, at the end of the page, we will have the Common Core standard that I would incorporate into this lesson. The subject is for trigonometry, specifically for grade 10 to 11. We will go over understanding the radian measure of angle as the length of the arc in a unit circle. Explain how the unit circle in the coordinate plane enables the extension of trigonometric functions to all real numbers, and the students will also be able to prove Pythagorean identity for cosine, tangent, and sine. So going to the next tab, we will move on to assessment. In this page, students will be tested or test their knowledge of their understanding of the lessons. We have 3 different levels: the entry level, formative, and summative. For entry, I will be providing a warm-up on special right triangle at the beginning of the class. For the formative, I would give them a quiz on the special right triangle, flashcards on trigonomic identity, a unit circle worksheet. They will be given an empty worksheet and we will fill this in class together. And at the end of the class, they should have understanding how to do this. I will also give them a time quiz on the unit circle worksheet. So with their completed worksheet, they can go home and memorize or understand how to do it. And in class, I will be testing them, giving them a time quiz where they will be required to complete an empty unit worksheet in less than 5 minutes. For summative, I will give the students a project where they would have to create a real-world problem, applying a special right triangle, and creating their own problems, and they will be doing this in a group. And at the end of everything, I will give them a test, and this will really test their knowledge and understanding if they really do get or grasp the topic that we went over in class. For the formative assessment, this is the quiz that I created on QuizStar. There will be 5 questions worth 10 points each. In this website, the student will be required to create an account and they will have to search up my class, which is Trig, and they'll be able to access the quiz there. And I provide a picture of how to find my class and register for it. For the summative assessment, students will be working in a group. They will be demonstrating their understanding of special right triangles, and creating their own original problem. And they will be presenting this in a PowerPoint presentation. I will be looking specifically on their PowerPoint layout, their word problem, how they show the work, and their overall presentation. So moving on to the next tab, which is lesson 1. This is the lecture. There's a link below where I created a lecture on Prezi. I already opened it in the beginning, and this is what it looks like, a unit circle with trigonometric functions. I will be going over this lesson in class, but the student will be following along with the guided notes. They can either download this notes, but more likely I will provide this for them, and they would be taking notes throughout the presentation, and I will give them quick breaks for them to grasp on their understanding of the lesson. And here is my guided notes. Scrolling down, in this problem they will be working on their own. I would test them on this problem too. And this is my guided notes for the students. For lesson 2, I created a web exercise for the students to work on. It's fun with trig functions, so this is more focused on trig functions. I created this worksheet. I provided a link where they will have to use to answer the questions. So open up this, so for this website, and then I also provide a video if they need more understanding of the topic, because they will be doing this on their own, and giving them as much resource as I can will help them do this successfully. And going down to this half portion of the worksheet, they will move on to another website where they will have to fill out these answers. It's basically just finding the identity function and being able to find their inverse. And I provided some problems for them to work on to test their knowledge and understanding if they perform well on finding the answers with the website. Moving on to lesson 3, we would have a graphic organizer. Specifically, I would want them to choose the chain of event organizer. This will be based on special right triangles. I provided the chapters that we will be using for the chain of events organizer. They would go on to this link and write and choose a problem from the chapter, and they would work on it. For the chain of event organizer, these are the main criteria what I want on their graphic organizer. The title, specify which special right triangle they are choosing, copy down the problem and the problem number, show a minimum of 3 steps, select and solve the trigonometric function, a minimum of 2, and make sure to box your answers. I highly recommend the students using Microsoft Word, but any other digital resource is fine too, but it must be approved by me. Below, I provided a rubric. Here's the download link if they want to print it out, but I would be specifically grading them on this special right triangle, which triangle they chose, if they solve the variable correctly, if they solve the trigonometric function correctly, their overall neatness and organization, and just their completion. And below the rubric, I provided a sample of how I would want the student to create their chain of events. So I chose specify which special triangle I want to use, the problem number. I copied down the problem I chose, and below are the steps how I solved uh, the different trigonomic identity. I chose sine for this and cosecant, and I highlighted my answers. So this is a sample for the students to follow if they are unaware of how to do it, but they can feel free to ask me questions through email or in class. And lastly, for our unit resource, I split this page into two different topics. The first portion is on special triangles, and the second portion is on the unit circle. For here, this Khan Academy on special right triangles, there's a lesson on it, and there will be a few questions after the lesson. So this will help them understand more deeply in detail of the special right triangles. And I provided a practice problem on this website. There's also a practice test. I provided video tutorials for them to understand how to find special right triangles. There's a lesson on one, and then the second video is solving the problem step by step. For the second portion of this website, we will be going over practice unit circle. I provide a unit test to understand the basic understanding of the unit circle. So this is what they should be using after the lesson I provided to see if they really understand or not. An easier way to understand a unit circle, there's a song specifically I provided for them. So instead of memorizing this whole circle, I provided another way to memorize it through a song. And there will be another lesson on unit circle I found that was most helpful. Sometime going over my own lesson for the students may leave questions unanswered. Maybe providing another lesson would help them understand it even more. And I found an alternative way to memorize a unit circle besides from the song is actually using your left hand trick, and it's a video where they go over another way to understand and memorize the unit circle. Then lastly, I provided a link where if they can demonstrate their understanding of the lesson through the online problems. And basically this is my website. You can find everything here. If you have any questions or anything that may concern you, please feel free to contact me through the website, and I'll be gladly to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for your time.